My worries were actually starting to gather when I was reading this chapter, the first chunk, because I've brought up since starting to review Mission Yozakura Family is that I liked Kawashita, and I was worried that his character was gonna get killed off. I mean, like, he's a bad guy, but at the same time, like, he's he's like one of those. He's one of those bad guys that really draws people into checking something out, just from like scenes and just showing off a couple panels of the dude, because he's got like a lot of really cool, just general presence moments within the series, and I think a good villain is one of the things that a series really needs to pull people over. Like he can draw a lot of attention, and the series already has like solid art, like it has a solid main cast. So a reoccurring villain is something that really made me say, okay, this series has looks like it's building up for a long distance. It does. Who knows if it's how long that distance is going to be, but if it's setting itself up to be a bit of a longer series, because for some reason all these like series that kind of get big now, like they finish shortly after after their popularity train starts to really go. So I would hope that we would get some more long-running series, and I'm hoping that Mission Yozakura Family is able to build up that kind of footing to be a longer series. But as was the last chapter, we had Taiyo. He went and severed all of those red threads that Kawashita was using to pretty much drain power from their mother's corpse, and he just seems like that he has a plan still, because when it looks like he's failing, he's got a smile on his face, and I'm guessing that he has something prepared for losing. Because if you're a bad guy and you're like your whole thing is being really smart, being really prepared and stuff, and you have this like scheme that people are going to show up for, you should have an idea of, okay, what if you lose? As long as they don't kill him, he's still in the game. He's just, it's just a hindrance, it's just a penalty. But he was in a bad spot once the entire family showed up. Like, I didn't think that he was going to be able to fight back against everybody. When it was just Taiyo, that was one thing. And if it was any of them one-on-one, like, even Kirichiro, I'd say, like, 1v1, I could see, like, the idea of him losing as, like, okay, I can understand. But you have an overwhelming set of the main cast. He would have to be, like, a massive, like a raid boss level of bad guy. Somebody built up for much longer. Like, if he's, like, the next time I would assume that we get a big fight with this dude, it would be, like, that kind of fight, where it'd be, like, some way bigger scale bad guy fight. Because they're beating him, not with a ton of effort once they all get there, but again, like, everybody there, that just seems like too many things, based off what we saw Kawashita's current capability. Like, he was just going to get overwhelmed, like I said. Like, it was not something that I thought he would do that well against the second that everybody came down. My worry was more for his safety, because, again, I don't want him to die. I don't want anything bad to happen to him, because I do like the character. I like him as an antagonist. But they're all doing their things, wrapping him up, even have Taiyo come in near the end with drop a lightning bolt on him and just frying the dude up. It looks like he's not dead, though, because they mentioned that he's captured. Like, Hiroichiro, like, even says that they've secured him. I would assume he's not dead. It would be really weird to have that kind of wording and to have that kind of, like, end scene with him not being dead. And they even say he fainted, so, like, I don't think at any point they're going to kill him moving forward. In the immediate forward. It'd be really weird. Like, even if you had one of those bad guy, like, one bad guy takes out the other guy so he can't give information kind of like scenarios. I don't even think that's gonna happen. I mean, it could, but at the same time, I don't think it will, because it definitely looks like this manga is setting up Kawashita to be a bigger bad guy over time, and I'm hoping that's the case. But the chapter itself, it's funny because, like I mentioned in the Jujutsu Kaisen and Undead Unluck chapters also read pretty quickly. This one read pretty quick, but it was set up in a way that it was like finishing the fight. Like, the last chapter obviously was much longer. I mean, it was an extra thick chapter, but like something like that, like if that was a few pages left and those pages came on over to here, I would say, like, it was, had a little bit more like action and a lot of more large scale events kind of like going down within this. But this chapter was more of finishing up the fight and then getting to the cliffhanger at the end, because I think that with the way that it was set for Kawashita to get, captured, essentially at the end of the last chapter when the entire family showed up again, because that was too much for him. Like, it would be too much for his whole scenario in the following chapter. So it's like, okay, well, what's the hype going to be the next chapter? Having the freaking dad run into the grandpa is definitely one of the plot twists I didn't really see happening here. Just, I didn't see that they were going to get a confrontation between these guys immediately following the fight. This would be like what I would assume would be in between chapters. Like, whenever you finish an arc, there's like that transition period where there's like usually like 2 to 3 chapters of like slice of life, kind of like more fun stuff before you get into like the serious plot again. I haven't expected this to be like in there, like to kind of just like throw a crazy monkey wrench into the whole setup of more kind of calming chapters, but then you get something like this. But if the arc is ending something like this, there might even be a fight between these two before we end the arc. I don't know if it'd be a long one, maybe just like a chapter or two. But definitely really interesting to see where this is going to go, because the dad, I don't really know where his reveal is going to go, like what exactly his character is going to, like where his character is going to be directed, like what exactly is he going to do in order to, like, essentially live up to whatever his role in the story is, because he's just a really weird character that we kind of see like tagged in a couple of times. Like, he kind of appears in the arcs. He's almost like the G-Man from Half-Life, for the people who know that reference. But it's just like he's present. He's walking somewhere in the background. He's not taking center stage, but he is present and people know it. And he's definitely dangerous. Like, we've seen him in action. So I really want to know where these, like, the next couple chapters are really going to define things. I think is where things are going to go, rather. Like, is it going to be like another fight? Is this defeat of Kawashita going to be one of those calm before the storm moments? There's still a lot left to kind of be revealed potentially within this arc. Or it could be like a calming conversation between them, and then we kind of move into that more settled down area before we get to the next arc. I don't know. Anyway, other than that, though, comment below. Tell me your thoughts about this chapter, and what exactly your thoughts are about, like, what's going to happen with Kawashita. I'm guessing he's going to be imprisoned, and then it's going to be maybe, like, some crazy Hannibal Lecter style, like he wants to he's trying to do mind games on people to escape or something. I don't know. Either way, comment below. Thumbs up the video. For the like button, subscribe button, check out my other videos. But I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed. Thank you all for listening. Bye.